Hey y'alls. Okay, so what we're doing today is I am out here in the Dogfish Bay, I believe is what this is called. It's a little offshoot of Liberty Bay, which is right next to Paulsbo. So that's where we are, and this is connected to the water that goes all around Bremerton. What we're gonna do is we're getting plankton. We're gonna grab some plankton out of this salt water. So I got my handy dandy little plankton net here. And on the bottom of it is a little jar, plastic jar that collects all the plankton. So it's got a real fine mesh, and so the water goes in there, and then all the little teeny tiny plankton get washed down into the jar, but the water goes out. So I'm gonna drag this behind. I'm out here on a kayak, so I'm gonna drag this behind me for a while, and I will check it and see how much we got, and then we will look at it under the microscope. There's a seal coming up to me. Oh my goodness, it is close. Oh, how majestic. Oh my God. Oh, he's coming back. I hope he doesn't attack me. Okay, I gotta go. So we got our sample here. It's all bottled up, ready to go under the microscope. And I cleaned it up a bit, the sample. I dumped out all the algae and stuff, so it's still got green floaties in there. Those are phytoplankton. We're gonna go take a look at them under the microscope. Okay, so I got the microscope hooked up to the computer, and these are the plankton that we gathered out of the saltwater that was in Liberty Bay, that's part of the Puget Sound, which is an offshoot of the Pacific Ocean. So what we are seeing here is all those little critters moving around. Those are zooplankton. They're a type of copepod, which is a small microscopic crustacean. It's a class of little critters found in the water. You also see, I don't know if you can see my pointer here or not, but right here seems to be like kind of a clear thing. It's like in the middle, to the left of where the two lines intersect. Those lines are just a mat that I have under the Petri dish that I have these in. So that's what those lines are. And the round circles, the greenish round circles that are not moving, that's the phytoplankton. Those are the plant plankton. And then all the ones moving around are the zooplankton, the copepods. Oh, there comes a big one swimming through. So it's just kind of fun to just watch them. I am going to have you draw them. So I'll give a little example of that here next, but you can go back to this section of the video and be able to see them so that you can draw them. You could pause and, oh, there was a big one that just swam through. So you'll be able to pause and kind of get a better view, and I wish I could zoom in more, but that's pretty much as close as I can get. Let me just, oh, I don't want to mess it up though. Okay, I will try to get a little closer. See what we get there. You can always go back to that earlier part of the video. And move it around, see if I can get there. We go. There's a bunch of those copepods swimming around. So you can even see inside of them. They got those darker sections. That's their insides. Some of them are probably blurry because they're swimming at a different level of the water that I'm focused on. So I have the water in a Petri dish, which is a small round dish. And then the microscope is just a little tiny camera thing that just is USB that plugs into my computer. So that's the setup that we got. So let's move it around a little bit, see what else is in there. Pretty consistent with the Some of that other blobby stuff is, oh, there was a big one that went through, is algae. This is always fascinating. I love doing this. Looking at these. Oh, there's a good picture of, oh, I wish I could point to it. I don't know if you can see my pointer, but it's down in the left-hand corner, that copepod. It was a good view of its shape a second ago. Oh, here comes a big thing floating across the bottom. What is that? It's zooplankton. So zooplankton is just a very broad term encompassing all the little animal things. Remember, plankton is a root meaning drifter. So it's just a general term, means little tiny critters that are in the water. Oh, just bumped it. There's a bunch of zooplankton there. I can focus in on that. Oh, look at that. Oh, I can't get it in focus very good. So that phytoplankton, you can see the nucleus in there. And it's got the darker outer rims. Let's take a look up here. Get even lower. Some good shots of the phyto. We'll let zooplankton go. There's a big swarm of it. Oh, look at that big old guy in the middle. Ah, he's amazing. Look at that. Oh, that is so cool. Oh my goodness. Oh, he's a big boy. Oh my gosh, that was awesome. All right, let's see if we can get. That was some good focus on that guy. There we go. There you can really see some shapes of them. Oh, those are good shapes there. Oh, you see that big, like, snake guy going through the middle? Look at that. Ah, this is amazing. Okay, so we're gonna stop. You can go back to this, to this section. So I'm gonna show you how to set it up in your notebook to draw these. And then you can go back, rewind, or go back in the video to this section or any other section to find some that you would like to draw. So let's draw these critters. Okay, hold on. We are not done with the plankton yet. We have some leftover water from the water testing at Kitsap Lake, the actual lake. And these are the plankton from Kitsap Lake. So look at these little swirly things. Those are interesting. Now we've got some The ones that, now everything is kind of moving because I just put the tray down, and that's why. So those are moving, but those are phytoplankton, those bigger things that you're seeing. You do see some things swimming through there. Those are going to be your zooplankton. So you can see the phytoplankton are much smaller. So this is about the same resolution that we had. Let's see if I can get a little bit closer. Same resolution that we had the saltwater plankton, but these just seem to be a little smaller. So we'll see if we can have some swimmers come through there. See one guy swimming through, pretty small. I can zoom in on it a little better. I also got some of these long strand phytoplankton and those curly ones. We didn't see any of that in the saltwater. Sorry, I know I'm out of focus. I'm trying to get a better look at those zooplankton. All right, so I'm going to move it around, see if we can find where all the zooplankton are. There's some more of those strip ones. Those are pretty cool. Lots of these little curly things. I don't know what those are. And then we've got some smaller versions of those round phytoplankton. So let's just hold it here and see if we have anything that comes swimming through. So those strands seem to be at a different water level than the other things. That's why we can't get everything focused all at once. I wish I could zoom in on those better. Okay, I promise I will just leave it alone. Let me find a good spot here. Okay. Let's see if something comes swimming through. Lots of phytoplankton. So this is going to have copepods in it as well. So copepods are going to be found in both kinds of things. So it's just a type of crustacean. So it's a pretty big category of things that can be found. So let's get to drawing some of these specimens. You can always go back in the video to see some of these to get them drawn. Now, like a good scientist, I am going to draw my observations. So I'm going to go to my next available page. Here's my plant log, which is right after my phenology wheel. Plant log, don't forget to check your plants. Are they getting watered? You don't want anything to happen to your peppermint. Okay, so now next available page. I'm going to be using colored pencils. So you're going to need some of these. If you don't have any, crayons could possibly work. Do not use markers. They're not going to work. They're too messy. They're going to bleed through. You're not going to be able to get the details and the accuracy. So use colored pencils. That's your best bet. If you don't have them, you can just use regular pencil and just draw in what your colors are. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is get a pen or a pencil. And I'm going to label what this page is. I should have done that larger, but you know. Okay, so Plankton observation. Is what this is titled. So let's draw a rectangle about yay big. Try to use as much space as we can. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 squares down. And now 2 squares from the top, I'm going to draw a line across. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. We got 25 across. So I'm not going to be able to go exactly halfway. I'm just going to eyeball it. This looks pretty good right here. Oopsie, try and stay on the line. There we go. Okay, so over here we are going to have, I'm actually going to use green. And this is going to be phytoplankton. Remember, that's the plants. That's why I made it green. Oops, I'm running out of room. And then over here, I'm going to use, I don't know, just any random color. I'll use blue. This is going to be zooplankton. Zooplankton has 2 O's, right? Zooplankton. I didn't get this. I'm going to pretend it does. Okay, zooplankton. So our phytoplankton, if you go back to your video, let me pull up my video here so I can see what I was looking at. Okay, so when you go back, you don't draw off of my drawing, draw off of the video that you saw of the plankton. So you're doing your own drawing of the plankton. So I'm going to look at them now, do my drawing so that you can see the general idea of how to do it, and then you can go back, rewatch the plankton part, pause on a section, and then draw it from there. Okay, so phytoplankton. Oh, this is, I gotta draw another line. So this is salt water. I'm going to do salt water first. And this is going to be, this is also salt water. Now we want to put where this sample was located. So we're going to write Liberty Bay, Washington. And this was gathered on, when was this gathered? Let's see, 4, 3, 2, 10/2. 20. Okay, now we can do the drawings. All right, so the phytoplankton for the saltwater, mostly all I saw was the big circle thing, so I'm just going to draw some of those. Now, we want to get specific about what we saw there. So the outside part, there is this really dark. Now, remember, I'm not doing this off of memory. I should say there is, because I'm looking right at it right now. So there's this dark rim around the outside. And then on the inside, there's kind of like a circle that you can see. I can't get close enough to be able to see exactly how that's all set up, but then it kind of looks like there's some things coming in here. Looks like a cucumber slice, doesn't it? Cucumbers of the sea. And then the rest of it was just kind of like a lighter green. It wasn't completely transparent, but it was just a very light color. So now the reason that we want to take good notes on this is because if we get another sample later on, we want to be able to remember what it was that we were looking at. And then I see another one that's got kind of a darker center and like something coming off of it. But it's still got like a darker edge here and there. But it's not as consistent as the other one that I looked at has. And it's a little bit more brown. So I'm going to use brown, kind of put a little brown color. Maybe some brown on the edges, give it a little bit right there. And the inside with a little brown too. There. So there's some of my phytoplankton. Okay, now the zooplankton. Okay, now these are going to be fun. All right, so let me find one. It's got a good shape that I can really see well. So kind of go back in your video and to where you can really see the outline of one. Okay, I got one here. Okay, so first I'm going to start with the darker parts. So I've got like a little thing up here by its head, and then it's got kind of a larger body part. And then he's got a smaller one. And then there's kind of like a dark thing like that. But if now the outside of it is kind of transparent, but there's a definite shape there to it. And then it's got like these wingy things it's using to swim around. And then it's got like these tail antennae kind of things. Can't tell if those are pointed or if they're rounded. Kind of hard to tell because the outside is so transparent. But that is what I am able to see at this magnification. So we will just stop there. Okay, now let's go to the Kitsap Lake sample. I'm going to do the same thing. Draw a big rectangle. And I'll draw this, and I have one going for freshwater, And let's use that same line down the middle. Okay, so this was zooplankton. Freshwater. And this was, get my green. Where'd my green go? I lost my green. This is phytoplankton. And this is saltwater. Or no, freshwater. Okay, and then this one is Kitsap Lake. Okay, so let me get a look at that real quick, and then I will set you off to view yours. Now this one didn't have too many zooplankton. See if I can find one. It was kind of more rounded. Kind of a oval friend. Okay, so he was just kind of round, and then he had some middle parts. I can't find him. He went through pretty quick. Okay, you can go through and find him and do a better representation, but I think that's kind of that's my representation from memory, but I'll go back and find him. Okay, so this is what you need to do. Just you're going to draw out these like I did with the squares, so do those the same, but then go back and do your own renditions of the drawings. Do phytoplankton and zooplankton for the saltwater, and then do phytoplankton and zooplankton for the Kitsap Lake water. All right. Good job being scientist.